I knew I need look no further. This was perfection for what I wanted to do.
In theory, it should never work. It should not work for Portmeirion. But he's done it, you know, it works. I think it looks great.
It's different for everybody, but there's something special. You can't put your finger on it.
Portmeirion, an Italianate village and hotel resort in North Wales, and the life's work of visionary architect Sir Clough Williams-Ellis.
I was much more interested in group buildings, in town planning and so forth.
One man's vision, taking 50 years to do it. The word unique is used too much nowadays, but this is very, very special.
Birthplace of the famous pottery.
They think the name Portmeirion is just the name of a fellow who did them until they find out there is a place called Portmeirion.
And backdrop to Patrick McGowan's ITV cult classic, The Prisoner.
This is the place for the Prisoner fans.
Because we are really a film set in that respect, and we haven't changed. We are pretty much a capsule to that time.
This series brings you a year in the life of the men and women who keep this magical village alive.
Portmeirion, port to put it on the sea, Meirion to put it in Meirionnydd.
There is a magical experience to it when you arrive here. The location, the colours of the buildings and its quirkiness probably. From a personal point of view, all I see is work. I think, well, that needs doing. We better do that this week.
It is a bit different. I always say you have to be a little bit different to work here at times. You never know what to expect. As in any village, things happen. It can be a lovely, peaceful day. It can go well for days, and then something happens. It's quite exciting, really.
You just get a magical feel when you come through the gate. It's my second home, my other little family. My job is to do the weddings. The bride and groom are so nervous, and you just want to make things happen for them. And sometimes it doesn't always. In the background, they don't know what's going on, but it always works out in the end.
I'm the head painter and decorator. I've been here since I was 16. I'm now 58. We've got about 80 different colours, and we've got to keep a record on every colour that we use. We write everything down.
Can't change anything with Portmeirion.
It's different from what's out there. It's totally different. When I first came here, I didn't think much of it, the place. And now I think, that's my thing. I did that. I've become kind of a part of the place somehow or other.
It's a place you do get very, very attached to. You want it to succeed, and I think that's my driving force is that, you know, I don't think I'm doing my job right unless I try and get more people to come and experience this wonderful place. This place is a magical place. The work is the same as any other workplace, but what an incredible office to do it in.
Today, Portmeirion is run as a modern business, and its managing director is Clough's grandson, Robin Llewellyn.
Portmeirion really is an embodiment of Clough's vision of the harmony between the man-made and the natural.
I wanted to demonstrate that you could develop and exploit even a very beautiful side without defiling it.
Clough's saying was cherish the past, adorn the present, and construct for the future. And it's a philosophy that Robin and his staff passionately adhere to.
What Clough abhorred over anything was that the place should become some sort of a museum. He wanted the place to live and breathe and be somewhere that's inspired and allowed events to take place and things to happen.
The place is made for people, isn't it? or you're going to have a haunted, deserted village, which is no good. They might be beautiful if you came along and discovered it and anything, but you need people. You need people to make a place come alive.
I knew that whatever I might construct had to have an economic basis of some sort, otherwise I couldn't afford it. And the obvious thing was tourism.
Long before tourism became fashionable, Clough sought to attract paying customers to enjoy and share his beloved village.
It took 50 years to build everything that we have here now, which is 58 hotel rooms and 13 self-catering cottages. If you have any questions as we go, please do ask. It's a very unusual site. We have 220,000 day visitors a year. I'm the location manager here at Portmeirion. I look after the sort of filming, the photo shoots, VIP tours, some concerts. So a massive variety in work, which is great. This is Cliff House, and it's quite symmetrical and boring. There's nothing really exciting about it, really, is there? Until you see that the 3 windows on the right-hand side are painted on. They're not real.
That's great.
And you weren't supposed to see that until maybe your 10th time here, and then maybe you pick it up, you know?
I get on very well with Mairig. He's a good chap. He knows a lot about Portmeirion, maybe more than I do, yeah.
This cottage was a favourite of Brian Epstein, the Beatles manager, who's had it for several years in the early 60s. Above us is Belvedere, and Jerry Lee Lewis stayed there.
Very friendly, very chatty, and he's very, very enthusiastic about everything. Yeah, he hasn't been here all that long.
I've been here 14 years, and, you know, people have been here 35, 40 years. You know, it's a place you do get very, very attached to. You know, I can't imagine going anywhere else, to be honest. So here we are, best view of the village, and it's a very popular one. It's so popular that we have a little land train now that can bring 40 people at a time up here in the summer. It's the best view looking down over the village and the Dwyr Estuary and the Skift in the background. The work that we do is, you know, in many respects the same as any other workplace, but, you know, the variety of what we have here, you do feel like one big family, you know, and it's lovely to have that sort of connection with people and to the place, of course. Sorry, we'll be 2 minutes, OK? Just to filming a short scene. It's a Bollywood music video, yes. Okay. Clough always wanted Portmeirion to appeal to creative people, and of course it's a wonderful venue for a whole range of wide different things. The piazza is fantastic as a sort of show area. We have this massive range of architecture here, different colours, so why shouldn't we have a whole range of different things happening here?
As keepers of the village, the team are all in tune with Clough's spirit. The colours of the buildings are as vibrant today as they've always been. Nothing has changed. Same colours, same paint, same painter.
This is the stores with all the paints mixed. My name is Martin Couture. I'm the head painter and decorator. I've been here since I was 16. I'm now 58. And here I am still doing things that I've done about 100 times before.
Martin's the only one now that's here when I first started. He's kind of a mascot to the place. He won't like this. He won't speak to me for months now.
I was 6 years old when they filmed The Prisoner here, and I've seen a couple of episodes. And sometimes, if I'm stuck with some of the colours, I'll borrow one of the DVDs and have a look at the old colours of the 60s. But I copy them. And so all the buildings now are back to the original of Sir Clough's colours.
Mixing the colours is the best part of my job, and putting all the different shades. Sir Clough wanted the weather look. He didn't want anything looking new straight away. And so it depends how tall the buildings are. I put 4 different shades, darker in the bottom and lighter at the top, just to make it look weathered. And the ones that he didn't shade, I've got no authority to shade them. Everything should be exactly the same. Can't change anything with Portmeirion.
Martin's not the only painter in this village.
It's quite exciting today because Nigel is with us. Nigel is our fine artist and he does all the work on the wonderful fake windows and also the murals that we have here. They were painted by Hans Feibusch and of course these things have to be touched up because with the weather they do deteriorate.
Robin once said that I was resident artist. That's the first time I've heard of it. I said to myself, I haven't got a job, so I'm going to those. They haven't given me one of these little things. All the artwork in this place, the murals, the sculptures, fix the sculptures, new sculptures, gold leaf stuff, all that arty stuff I do. I always think when I see it, it's like an old Monty Python sketch. The king is in the window of his castle, and he's talking to his son, and he says, "One day, lad, all this will be yours." And his son says, "What, the curtains?" That's what I always think when I look at that one.
Nigel's work to me is one of the most important here because you'll see with Clough, his attention to detail was superb. And Nigel is our man who keeps that attention to detail going.
He does complete most things on time. We tend to give him deadlines these days, otherwise if you don't give him a deadline, then things tend to continue.
Tiring if you do it all day. I get knackered about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When I first started years ago, I used to work from 9 till, say, about 4. But then when I came back the next day, the stuff I'd done after 3 was rubbish. So I had to redo the stuff I did after 3 in the morning, so I jacked it in at 3 after that. So now I jack it in at lunchtime when I do these things.
Portmeirion, an Italian-style village located in North Wales. This beautiful pocket of eccentricity was created and built by Sir Clough Williams-Ellis in his own theatrical style. Today, the village is a thriving tourist attraction, with 2 4-star hotels, and the colourful buildings around the piazza are in fact holiday cottages. The housekeeping demands in this village are huge.
Hiya, Tom.
Making sure everything runs like clockwork is head housekeeper Rhian.
We've got nearly 40 staff here in the housekeeping department. That's between the castle, the hotel, the village, everywhere. And I know it sounds a lot, but some days it's not enough. I've been here 22 years. Why have I stayed here so long? Well, I'm very fond of the place. I enjoy my work. I enjoy the challenges. You wouldn't think so. Some mornings or some afternoons, you feel like pulling your hair out when things don't go according to plan. And things always go wrong about 10 to 3 when people come in by 3:30. Anne, dwi'n diffonio Simon wedyn. Fe raid iddo fe twtsio baint ar hwnna li. You've got to have common sense. I'm not a clever person, but you've got to have common sense and just grab something quickly and sort something out. Our job is to keep the people who come here as happy as possible, and that's our aim, really, isn't it? This is the famous Peacock Suites. This is the only suite in the hotel, and we've had quite a few famous people staying here. The bed, it's a lovely 4-poster bed, and apparently even the Prince of Wales has been here. It's something quite special about it, really, isn't it? Although Mr. and Mrs. Jones down the road have probably stayed here as well, and they're as important to us here.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones also come to the village to tie the knot. A Portmeirion wedding is special, and organising every couple's big day requires a big personality.
I'm the sales manager here, so I deal with the functions like the weddings, the conferences, group bookings, lunch parties, anniversaries, birthdays. I deal with all that side of things. Big team effort it is when you have to turn around for a wedding. Everybody's hands on.
Lilith is absolutely outstanding with weddings. She runs weddings with like a military efficiency, I think I would put it.
So then you'll have your first dance and then what, an hour of music?
Yeah.
And then buffet at 8:30?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that okay?
That works well, yeah.
They come and have a meeting with me to run through the arrangements, and then on the evening, because I think when people book the wedding and they come and have a look around, they don't get the full feel of it. So what they do is that they come and have a wedding tasting. Dach chi gyd yn barod at a wedding tasting hyn yma? Yeah? They have a table for dinner, they sit down, and they get to experience the food, the wine, and I just think they get a better feel of how their day will be. I want them to feel that on the day that I'm not just the wedding planner, but I'm there for them, whatever they need. The bride and groom are so nervous, like on the day before the wedding, even on the day, and you just want to make things happen for them. And sometimes it doesn't always. In the background, they don't know what's going on, but it always works out in the end.
You are now husband and wife.
I want them to go away from here feeling they've had a magical time and that I've looked after them and that they'll remember me and come back and see me.
The central piazza offers every newlywed couple the perfect backdrop for those memorable Portmeirion wedding photos. Martin may provide the gloss on this stunning setting, but the main man in charge of the village, as well as maintaining the whole 70 acres of woodland and subtropical wilderness, is Gwynedd. A big man for a big job.
On the business card it says maintenance manager or gardens manager, but I think the job is very varied, varies from day to day really, and no day is ever the same, and it's really exciting, although it could be tiring at times on a Friday afternoon when you think of going home. When you sit down for a while and you look around the village, then it is something very different and very clever in a way. From a personal point of view, all I see is work. I think, well, that needs doing. We better do that this week.
Gwyned's our boss. He's charming, he's cheerful.
Before Gwynedd was here, nothing happened. Now Gwyned's here, things get done these days.
We try to keep to Clough's ethos and ideas, that you use plants to complement the architecture and to improve the views and the vistas. No garden ever stays the same. A garden matures and changes over the years. So what we're doing is basically looking back at the old records, seeing what was planted years ago and following that really. We're lucky in a way that Portmeirion does have its own microclimates, and we're able to grow plants that people normally, especially in this part of the world, wouldn't be able to grow. Lots of subtropical and Asian plants thrive here in Portmeirion, and that's why we've got so much acers, bamboos and all the rhododendrons and azaleas here. If you trace back the history of the gardens of Portmeirion, they were very similar to other gardens in the 18th century where planters used to go all over the world, gather seed and plants for wealthy landowners and bring them back, and that's what we've done here. We've introduced new plants into the garden, which enriches the collection we've got here, but also gives people lots of pleasure. When you hear somebody saying, oh, we really enjoyed ourselves and the garden's looking fabulous and the buildings are looking great, then that's probably the biggest enjoyment I take from it.
These are the men and women who preserve and protect the spirit of Portmeirion. Workers, guardians, fans.
It's very much a place that you want it to succeed, and I think that's my driving force is that, you know, I don't think I'm doing my job right unless I try and get more people to come and experience this wonderful place.
You do feel a sense of ownership of the site, and I think you do feel that duty to make sure that the place is well kept. Clough's saying was, cherish the past, adorn the present and construct for the future, and that's something we do on an annual basis here.
I always think, I don't know, because I'm so passionate about the place, I love what I do, I feel like I don't want to grow old and I don't want it to end, you know what I mean? I just love it here, I really do.
Over the next few weeks, we'll follow a year in the life of this magical village. A pocket of eccentricity, caught in time. Next time, spring, and the village comes alive.
Spring is by far my favourite season here.
It lights everybody's life up after a hard winter.
Nigel starts a big renovation job.
Somebody has been trying to repair it, but they've been using car body filler.
And the prisoners' superfans descend upon the village.
They're obsessed, they love it, they love coming to the village because this is the place for the prisoner fans.